wake up this morning, guys. Wake up because every day, no matter what happens in the world, life goes on. There's nothing to change anything that's transpired even 2 seconds ago. We can only deal with from this moment forward. And actually, I can't deal with that moment because now it's in the past. So unless you come up with a time machine, you can't change the past. You can only fix the future. You can dwell on the past. You can lament about things that have gone wrong, but you can also celebrate great things that have happened. But you can't change none of them. Which is why you must take each day and make the most of it. I live that, I preach that, and I'm trying to pass that on to everybody else. So, things are beginning to heat up in the NFL. Aaron freaking Rodgers, I hate Aaron Rodgers. He is truly the drama queen. He knows exactly what the heck he's doing. He does. He knows exactly. Look, okay, so this is actually the first. Okay, that was weird. That was just kind of crazy. Okay.
About the continuity, he says.
Don't know why. That video literally just jumped up on the screen there. It's kind of early in the morning. Ghost in the machine this morning. Maybe that was Simba, because that video was the last video that when Simba was still alive. Things are heating up in the NFL. Next week, it is a shortened combine. It'll be one day of workout. There was a bubble format. That's kind of changed a little bit. The NFL has kind of succumbed to the 155 players and agents that said, nah, bro, we ain't showing up if these are going to be the rules. The NFL altered them some. But Aaron Rodgers, I was beginning to say before, screen jumped crazy. The drama queen that he is. Gets everybody all worked up and excited, putting, his gratitude post, which felt like a goodbye, with all these pictures, pictures with him not over there besides Randall Cobb, like he's missing, and, you see him, doing the hang loose, and you see he's carrying bags and like he's traveling, and it felt like he was saying goodbye. Emotional, so it got the whole blogosphere and Twitter and everybody going, what the heck is going on? Sorry, my mic was down low. What the heck is going on here? Or what the hell's going on around here?
What the hell's going on out here?
And the next day he was going to be on the Pat McAfee show. So, it led up to the big buildup. Is he going to go talk to his best friend? Is he going to say, I'm retiring? No. He came through with all of the world watching and having them literally wrapped around his finger and said, no decision today. He's playing with his folks. He's playing. He's having a good time. He's living his best life. He knows exactly what he's doing. So, we don't know about Aaron Rodgers. We know Russell Wilson. People think that he might be able to be traded for. Jameis Winston, he's a free agent. Maybe he goes to Pittsburgh, or all of a sudden, the hot commodity is Carson Wentz, which still blows my mind. Then there's Jimmy G and a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. And if you look at the draft, this draft is not a good draft for quarterbacks, but this draft could be a good draft for the Cowboys. This draft is full of linemen, offensive linemen. It's full of edge rushers. And this is where the think tank, where I hope that the Dallas Cowboys organization isn't still dwelling on what they did in the past and thinking, yeah, this was great, and we're just going to keep, that they actually look forward thinking. In my mind, I know I'm not the expert out there that you listen to on all the shows that have the pedigree. I'm just a guy. I'm a guy who is passionate about football and the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys seem to have tried holding on to their players, as Stephen Jones says, we believe in our own free agents and things like that. But your own free agents that you had, they didn't get the job done. They didn't get the job done. And so we end up paying a lot to keep a lot of our own guys. And that prohibits us from being able to get some more guys that may be better and can be helpful. This year, knowing that there's a lot of edge rushers that are out there, knowing that there's a lot of offensive linemen, this may be an opportunity for the Cowboys to look at this 24th pick, and if there's a trade partner, they may be able to trade back, get themselves an edge rusher, and get themselves a good offensive lineman with some extra help, with an extra pick. Because we need bodies that have a good pedigree. And see, when we go into the draft, the thing that you want to do is you want to look at the positions, and there's certain positions that are always going to be hot commodities. Quarterback usually is, but there's not ones to pick, so there might not be one in the top 10. If you need one, you kind of start, when you're needy for a guy, you kind of start thinking, well, he's not as bad as I thought, but yeah, he might work. It's kind of like when your car breaks down and you got to go to work tomorrow, you buy a piece of trash because you're desperate. And that's the philosophy of the Cowboys, is take the best player available. And sometimes it's a position that you might not need. But we need help on the lines. Bad. Offense and defensive line. I'm going to be kind of short this morning because I need to get on the road. I've got work to do, and then I got to get back and get ready to get back on the road tomorrow. So I want to there's not really much left to discuss on this, but it's the off season, and we're about to kick into free agency and the combine. Well, we're retaining the Cowboys coach.
About the continuity. He says, quote, I think as much as it benefits me, it benefits just the offense in general and the team structure and culture. We were fortunate to get through the coaching changes, keeping the OC and DC. It brings a lot of excitement, I know, to the building. And while generally we consider stability and continuity to be positive words in pro football, RG3, there might be some reason to see this the other way. How do you see it?
Yeah, continuity is often a key or a precursor to success. I just don't look at it that way for the Cowboys. They're bringing back the two coordinators from a team that underachieved last year. And not only that, they're also bringing back the two clubhouse favorites to replace Mike McCarthy after he had a tough year with clock management. So when I look at Kellen Moore, I think to myself, man, this Cowboys offense is too talented for them to have the struggles that they had late in the year last year and not be clicking on all cylinders. And what are they going to do with Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup? They've got extreme talent at the wide receiver position that helped them lead the league.
Okay, I want to stop here for just a second. Okay, now RG3, he's very well spoken. I think he's going to be a great analyst and stuff. So it's funny listening to him as we look and see Dallas 407 points last year, most in the NFL, and at the same time they say, oh, bringing back these coordinators. Oh, okay.
In yards per game.
I get you.
But they have to figure out if they're going to bring them back. What are they going to do at running back? You got Ezekiel Elliott, who you're paying a gazillion Bitcoin to. You got Tony Pollard, who's out there giving you massive amounts of production when he's not really getting paid that much. So I think they have a lot more questions, but continuity might not be a good thing for the Cowboys as they've been mediocre for a while now.
Are they doing the contracts in crypto these days? If that word had eluded me, but that's an interesting perspective. Dan, it is an interesting way of looking at it. Continuity amongst the players may not be 100%, and with the coaches, that is a mixed bag.
Right, and look, I mean, Dak Prescott's going to say what he's going to say. He's not going to say, oh, I wish we hadn't brought the coordinators back. Right. That would be a bad thing for the leader of your team to say. Right. But I think what the key for the Cowboys is assessing what they really were on offense. And this is a team that scored 40 points a game in its 6 division games and 26 points a game in its other 11 games, right? So when they were playing in the NFC East, they were a dominant offense. When they weren't, they were not a dominant offense. They were an average one. So RG references Amari Cooper, a candidate for a potential cut if he doesn't restructure his contract. They have work to do at the wide receiver position, whether they keep him or not. They have other, the offensive line is showing some age, some health issues. They have to beef up some places there. So there are things to be done on offense, and the continuity on the roster may not mirror the continuity on the coaching staff. I think that's the bigger concern for the Cowboys.
And Mike T, the very presence, and RG3 brought this up, and it's interesting, the presence of Kellen Moore and particularly Dan Quinn and the pressure, the added layer of pressure perhaps, Mike, that puts on the head coach.
I actually think it's a good thing. I mean, Mike McCarthy knows it starts with discipline. You were the #1 team in the NFL in penalties. That has to get better. Look, the day that you become the head coach of the Cowboys, there's enormous pressure. So the fact that Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore are there, it just adds another layer. But it's going to be there anyway. And the other thing I want to put in context is they had a great offense. When Dak Prescott was the quarterback and Kellen Moore's calling the plays, they averaged 30 points a game and over 420 yards per game. That's outstanding. And this is the first time that Dak, not coming off of an injury, not dealing with a contract issue in a couple of years. So hopefully continuity will help them, Greeny. But to me, it's about discipline, and that goes back to the head coach. #1 in the league in penalties, and that is just unacceptable.
Yeah, #1, meaning in all the wrong ways. They were number 32 in the league in penalties, depending on how you want to look at it there.
Yeah. #1, numero uno in penalties, the Dallas Cowboys were. Will Mike McCarthy thrive or wilt under the pressure? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. One final note this morning as I get ready to get out of here. Interesting take. Brian Flores was actually offered millions of dollars on the way out after being fired to sign a non-disclosure agreement about what was going on there, which is interesting to think that they needed a non-disclosure agreement. He refused it, turned down the money because he would actually rather tell his story. He, of course, has been hired by Mike Tomlin in the Pittsburgh Steelers, another team that, of course, is looking for a quarterback now. So with that being said, I've got to get my truck packed up here because I got some work to do. But as always, we got you guys on our mind and the Dallas Cowboys.
Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is